to VEDA Day 10. So for today's VEDA, I kind of wanted to get a little more personal, a little more intimate, and talk about, the obvious, problem that women have every month, the period. So I remember when I first started mine, I went on YouTube and I was just searching for how to survive your period and tips and stuff like that, and asking 1,000,001 questions because I had no idea what was happening. I knew what was happening. I was very miserable my first period, and I kind of want to make it a little less miserable for you guys if you just started or if you just have kind of a terrible period, some of my tips and stuff for you. So I started my period last September, so it's barely been a year, and I'm super irregular, so irregular, it's not even funny. I haven't had a period in 4 months, and it literally drives me insane. I hate the suspense of waiting, and I am one of those rare people that actually kind of likes having my period. I don't know why, it's weird because when I have my period, it's just kind of the sign that you are a woman, you can make children now. It's the most womanly thing that could ever happen, and only women can have it. So it's just kind of a cool feeling, yeah, I'm a woman. It's, I don't know, if you think about it that way, it might be a little more bearable. I don't know. So I'm one of those people that has a medium to heavy flow, and it's definitely not a light period. I know a lot of my friends have light ones, and I'm so jealous of them. And it kind of depends on the month. Sometimes it's heavier than others, and sometimes it's lighter during the beginning, heavy in the middle, and then light, and then really heavy at the end. It's really weird, but I think that's how a lot of periods go. I have no idea. I'm not the expert on this at all. Definitely not. First time I had my period, I'm just gonna be honest, I was miserable. I was so miserable. I stayed in my bed all day long. I didn't get up because every time I stood, you can just imagine. It's not fun the first time, and I had really bad cramps, and I was so miserable. Oh my god. And I was wearing leggings, and I was changing my pad every 10 minutes because I just couldn't stand the feeling, and it was just so nasty. And everyone was telling me that it gets better as your periods go along and you don't feel it as much and it's not as horrible. And I didn't believe them because I'm how the heck could this ever go away? How am I ever going to get used to this? But it gets better, I promise. As the months go on, you'll learn to deal with it, and you just have to tell yourself it's just blood, it's okay, it's not a big deal, it'll go away eventually. And also, my period lasts about 8 days, and I think the second or third period that I had, it lasted 2 weeks. It was so long, it was terrible, but it wasn't blood the whole entire time, which was good. It was just weird. My body is really weird, but everybody's different, so this might not happen to you. Your period might be 4 days long, it might be 5 days long, it might be 7 days long, it might be 10 days. It just really depends, and that's not something that I can tell you that it's only going to last X amount of days, because your body is completely different than mine. But I do have a few products that I use when I'm on my period that might help you if you're just starting and you have no idea what to use. One thing that I did do literally the first day is my mom took me to the grocery store, and I picked out a bunch of different brands of pads, different thicknesses. I got lighter ones and thicker ones and stuff, so I could try them out and see which one works for me best. And I feel that helped a lot, because then I could really tell which was better for me, and then you can just try a bunch of stuff out and find what works best for you and what's most comfortable. So yeah. When I'm on my period, I use the Always Maxi pads, and these are the overnight ones. Because I have such a heavy period, I have to wear these, or else I'm just pretty much miserable. But they work so well. They lock everything in, you feel dry, you can barely notice you're wearing them after a while. You would think that you would feel them because they're literally giant diapers, and I was scared to use these at first. I didn't want to use these because I'm oh my god, this is literally a diaper, it's so big. But honestly, just go for it. You're not even going to see it through your pants. That was also a fear. You don't, unless you're wearing really tight leggings, and you might see it. But they work really well, and they lock everything in, and since they're overnight, you can wear them overnight and not have to worry about leaking or anything like that. One thing I would recommend though is if you're first starting and you do have a heavier flow, I wouldn't recommend wearing shorts when you're going to bed. and just because it could leak, I always like to wear like jeans and stuff, and if I'm wearing like a dress when I'm on my period, I like to wear shorts underneath just in case. It's just a preference. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I do that just because I feel safer and more locked in and stuff. But yeah, these are what I use, and they're great, and I would totally recommend them. If you want a little bit of a lighter one, but it still has a lot of coverage, I guess, and a lot of protection, I also use the U by Kotex Extra Maxi long ones, and these ones are prettier and they make you feel a little cuter than wearing those giant ones. They're still kind of big, but they do keep everything in, and they are great, and I would so recommend any of the U by Kotex products because they are awesome, honestly. Like, I love the U by Kotex, and I remember when I was like a teen and like before I even started my period, I got like the pantyliners, and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, 'cause, I don't know, they're just pretty, and they like kind of make having your period a little bit more exciting. So I definitely recommend any of the U by Kotex products if you are just starting. When I'm not on my period, I use the Always just panty liners. They're like so simple and really easy to use, and you don't even know they're there, and they're great. I know not a lot of people have to wear panty liners all the time, but I do. I know that might sound gross, but it just depends on the person, but I personally have to, so I wear these. A ton of my friends, when they first started, they were terrified to use tampons. They were like, no way in the world am I wearing one of those. They're scary, they're terrifying, like, oh my god. Literally, I was so miserable the first time I had my period. I was just like, anything that I can do that will help stop it just a little bit, I'll do. On like the third day, I was just, I'm done, I need to try a tampon. So I tried like the, what was it? I think it was like the Playtex Sport. I think I tried that, and that worked pretty well. It just wasn't like ideal for me. It was like the only ones we had because no one else in my house uses tampons. I'm the only one who does, and I don't always use them. I'll use a tampon if it's a heavier flow, like the first few days, and I have to go out in public for a while and I don't feel like worrying about a pad, then I'll wear a tampon. But I don't love them that much just because it's kind of a lot of maintenance having to like change them every like 3 hours. It's just kind of annoying, and I'm not very good at putting them in yet, honestly. But when I do use them, I use the Tampax Pearl Active, and this is the slender fit, and if you are just starting, do not get the regular ones. They are going to be so much harder to put on. If you get the slender fit, they are skinnier, and they are kind of just like meant for like teenagers and people who have smaller areas down there, and you know, that might sound really gross. This might be a really personal video, but I don't really care. I like it when people talk, real talk, because this shouldn't be a hard thing to talk about. Every girl goes through it, you know, why not? But yeah. And I like this one. This is like the multi-pack. It has 9 of the light and then 27 of the regular. And so there's also like other packs that have like a panty liner in them as well. And since I have a heavier flow, I also wear a pad with these. But most people just wear a tampon or a tampon and a panty liner just in case you leak. So it's a personal preference. It really doesn't matter if you're like wanting a tampon just because you don't want to wear a heavier pad, then just wear a tampon. But I kind of have to wear both just because I don't want to leak. They basically just look like this. They're really easy to use. They're honestly, I had no idea how to use one at first. I mean, I had kind of an idea, but what I did is I asked my mom. It just depends. If you have a really good relationship with your mom, I'd recommend asking your mom to help you. She was in the bathroom with me when I first did it just because I was really scared and I had no idea what I was doing, and that definitely helped. And yeah, I just recommend doing that, and don't try and like do it yourself unless you feel more comfortable. It's just whatever makes you feel more comfortable. I literally, before I started my period, like years before I started, I went on YouTube and searched how to put on a tampon. I literally did that. And then I saw Whaley's video, and I thought it was hilarious, but it literally helped me. So if, you know, no shame, just do it. No shame at all. Yeah, that's basically it. When I'm on my period though, I do have cramps, and just to get rid of the cramps, I use a heating pad, and it's miracle worker. It is literally a miracle work. Yeah, so that is everything that I wanted to talk about. So hopefully if you just started your period, you'll be a little less scared, and hopefully everything it will get better. I promise you. It's really not that bad. So, yeah, I love you, and good luck on your period, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.